Welcome to this bonus Feel Fresh class, how to crush any and all social events sober. Looking forward to diving into it today with your team. As always, jump into the chat panel, keep it rocking and rolling, keep the engagement coming through. This is a special class. I am recording this class specifically for your membership area to upload on there. I'm going to make it really easy and accessible. And I'm also, if you're up for it, I'm also going to add in a event checklist, a quick PDF that you can print out, have on your office desk, have on your work table. And as opposed to needing to rewatch a 30-minute class to remind yourself, you'll be able to go through that checklist and think, yep, I know exactly what that means. I know exactly what that means. Would that be awesome? Would everyone like that? Fantastic. All right. One of the most common questions that I get asked at Drink Less Feel Fresh in general from family, from friends, from clients, from members is, I have an event coming up. I don't know what to do. I have an event coming up. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm crushing it and this event is going to destabilize me. Who here has had that feeling? Who here has had the feeling of like, oh, why is this event even coming up? Or who here has had the feeling of like, I didn't even realize I cared that much about alcohol until this event popped up. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Lots of comments coming through. There we go. Yeah, sometimes don't even want to go. Someone's sharing. Yeah, isn't that an interesting one? It's like I remove alcohol. Now it's like, do I even want to go to this event? Which is a great insight into both alcohol, but also even more importantly, your social life. All right. So my question for you to start the ball rolling is, what is your biggest obstacle when it comes to socializing without booze? I want to get a little bit of context, see where everyone's at, and then we're going to dive into it. But what do you think is your biggest obstacle when it comes to socializing without booze? Okay, so the pressure from people, feeling awkward, anxiety, pressure from others. Love these. Loving it. So yeah, a lot of pressure. Gina's capitalizing under pressure. Maintaining self-character. Fantastic. Would it be okay if we looked after every one of those obstacles today? Would it be okay if you walked away from this actually being able to look after those and feel certain? Yeah, beautiful. All right. Who is really excited to learn the top 6 steps to crushing any event sober feeling good? Not 6 steps that I've put together and just made up, 6 steps that I've been using for 9 years. And when the event feels a bit like one of our members, Gina, was experiencing, like, hang on a second, the event's coming up, and all of a sudden it's like the headlights are on, I'll still use all 6 of these strategies. And I can't remember the last event I went to, and I said I wasn't drinking, and I ended up drinking. Who here would like to say that? Not to pedestal myself, but like, does that make sense? Who here would like to be able to say that? I no longer go to events with one commitment and break that commitment. What would that mean to you? Self-trust so much. That's right, Gina. Amazing. Yeah, fantastic team. All right, so if it's okay, do you mind, would it be okay if I brought a bit of a no BS approach? It's a bit more of a logical strategy teaching that I'm about to take you through. It's a non-negotiable, do this or don't do that and see what happens. Would that be okay? And can I bring a bit of fun and play to it too? Is that all right? Go for gold. Thanks. All right, cool. So number one, and as I said, you can take some notes down at the moment if you'd like. Otherwise, feel free just to sit and engage. I'm just going to move something out of the way. And I will send through a cheat sheet with these top 6 steps or strategies. Cool. All right, fantastic. So number one is meaning. Okay, what does this event mean to you? Remember the bigger picture. Now, here's some context for you. Here's some insight for you. One of the things that happens when an event comes up is one of the unfortunate things that happens when these events come up is life becomes irrelevant and everything is about the event. So you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years on the planet And however long you've got to go just disappears like that. And everything is about the event. Have you felt that before? Jenna, is that making sense? And it's the feeling that I got when you messaged me. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? What that means is we are too close. You know the famous quote that says you can't see the forest through the trees? You're too close to it. You are being sucked in to your traditional relationship with alcohol and socializing, and you can't see anything else. And all of a sudden, the event has become life. That's how focused and the term is called enmeshed we are. Yeah, that's right. Isn't that interesting? So everyone be aware of this. What does this event mean? And the first step to ever providing, reducing anxiety, reducing stress is to come back to the bigger, but effing picture. And until we can get back to the bigger picture, what does life mean to you? What does this event mean to you? And the more you can question what does this actually mean, what will happen is you'll start to separate, I should use that term instead, separate yourself from the event, which is what you're looking for. You're looking for emotional detachment, right? Fantastic. So Gina's sharing nothing to me in all honesty. So logically, it means nothing to you. Emotionally, it actually means everything. So when we feel we are either the master of our reality or we are the servant. So when someone is being swept up by having an event coming up and they're starting to feel anxiety, pressure, they are the servant of the event. Isn't that fascinating? And the event is like 7 days away. Sometimes it's 12 months away. I've spoken to someone who's like, so I've got this work event. I've been asked to speak. It's next year. It's like, whoa. So jump into the chat panel. Let me know if this is resonating and landing. I'm going to give you each 6 strategies and then context and insights into them. Because remember, how you think about applying strategy matters more than the strategy. So what does the event actually mean to you? And there is a huge problem if the event isn't much more than a drop in the ocean. I'll give an example. In this culture, we have a phenomenon. Did I say that right? Phenomenon? We have a fascinating approach. This is not a judgment to anybody, but most people in life live a quality of living where the best parts of living is Christmas, New Year's Eve, holiday time, my birthday, and engagement and weddings. Just so you know, like we have a culture where life, the quality of our lives is to the extent that the best part of our lives is breaks, holidays, weddings, birthdays, big corporate events when there's an open bar. Anybody resonate with that? We do. We live in a culture where everyone gets excited. Melbourne Cup, what a funny thing. I know guys that are waiting 12 months in advance for Melbourne Cup. Now, why am I sharing that with you? Well, one of the symptoms of increasing the quality of your life and removing attachment of something like alcohol is that these standard massive days kind of end up feeling like a drop in the ocean. You increase the quality of your life to an extent where a birthday might feel like a little bit of icing on the cake, but you've already got your cake. Most people are lacking cake in life. Is this metaphor okay, team? Most people are lacking cake, so we're salivating for the icing. Where's the icing? Where's the icing? It's my next holiday. No, it's the wedding coming up. Yes, I heard it's an open bar. Woohoo! Oh my God, cocktails, free cocktails. No one does free cocktails at weddings. Yes! Jump into the chat panel, team. Too much, or does the metaphor resonate? I think the cake and icing metaphor really does this justice. Great. Somebody's sharing. Yeah, I was at a lunch function yesterday and I was asked at least 10 times if I wanted wine. And then the waitress just poured one for me. Yeah, that's right. So we want to look at, even this is now looking, Gina, for you looking at the bigger picture. Like, what is going on? What are people doing out there? Put me in a room with put me in a wedding room with 200 people. 185 of them will say, yes, we love alcohol. Put 200 of them with me in private consultations the following week. About 150 plus of them will say to me they wish they didn't drink like they did. Those are generally the odds, just so you know. I've been doing this a long time. Isn't that interesting? In a group, we all want it to be something. As individual human beings, the majority of us don't. And that's something that we all need to understand. Yeah, it is culture. So meaning. So Gina remembers, like, we got to, first of all, this first strategy is, hang on a second, what does this mean to me? What does this mean to me? And whenever I feel sucked into an event, like let's say I don't know, let's say I get asked to go to somewhere. I want to sacrifice the fact that I don't want to go because it's for someone that I love. Everyone's been in that experience, right? Like, weighing up the pros and cons. Don't want to go to the event, or I don't want to go to the event, but if I say no, I'll lose my job. Isn't that an interesting one, right? And so the first thing I'll do is if I start to feel a bit like even me, if I'm starting to stress a bit, like, oh, what are these people going to be like? Do I want to talk to them? Oh, what's going on? And I start to feel that little bit of anxiety. You've got to step back and hang on a second. What does this mean to me? And if the event doesn't feel like a drop in the ocean, not much more than just a stepping stone, not much more than a look at your watch and, okay, I've got a 5-hour thing to attend and then I'm getting back into my life, then it's going to be stressful. Jenny, let me know specifically if that's helping this frame. If it's not much more than like I'm looking at my watch going, oh, okay, here's the thing I got to go. And this meaning step is so paramount because it separates your emotional connection and that servancy, as we said, servant, to become back to being the master. It's just an event, bringing a lighthearted play and approach to it. Can we keep moving, team? Is that beneficial, resonating, liking it so far? Always keep the chat panel rocking and rolling. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Number 2, real short, sharp one here. Discipline. Make your decision in advance. This is a fun one. The amount of freaking people that drink more than they'd like because their approach is this. Yeah, I'm loving this journey. Yeah, got a big event coming up. Yeah, going to see how it goes. Going to see how it goes. We know how it's going to go. You're going to get there and feel awkward and anxious, so order a drink, or you're going to get there and feel so excited and flustered and order a drink. That's how it's going to go. So discipline, make your decision in advance. And making a decision on these 6 disciplines will dramatically, by the end of this call, Gina, your anxiety levels are going to dramatically decline so much because you're being, and everyone on the call is being disciplined with their approach. I'll give you some bonus reasons on why that is so beneficial, psychologically speaking. But discipline, make your decision in advance. Make your decision in advance. So much anxiety and stress and pressure can be, removed. But who here has been stressing out about going to a social event, and then the minute they said, you know what, I'm driving my car, and like that, they went, oh God. Anybody experienced that before? That's discipline. Discipline provides freedom. It's a fascinating thing. Most people don't understand it. They go, oh, but Tom, I'm working with you so I can live in the moment, man. I want to be able to go to the event and just see what happens on the day, man. How do I trust myself? No, discipline provides freedom. Discipline provides freedom. So that's an important one. The fastest way to sabotage yourself is on this journey, say, I'll see how it goes. That's for a later stage of the journey. That's for individuals that know how to detox. That's for individuals that know how to go to social events sober. So it's for a later stage. For today, it's discipline. Make your decision in advance. Gina's favorite saying, I'll see how it goes. Yeah, big one. This one can literally change your life. Making a decision in advance. We do grow up. We're in a culture where we don't like making decisions. Why? Because we've got everything at the tip of our fingers. That's why we don't need to make decisions that much these days. We don't need to make decisions. Am I going on holiday? Who cares? I can jump on whatif.com and get cheap flights the day before. We live in a real spontaneous world at the moment regarding technology and what you have access to. And because of that, we don't have to make many decisions. Like, remember when you used to have to make the decision like 3 days early to call the taxi company to arrange a taxi to go to the event? Do you remember that? And then you'd have to call an hour before because it was going to be 45 minutes late and you had to check in. Yeah, you used to have to make decisions in advance. These days you don't. Does that make sense, team? Is that interesting to know? So people lack decision-making in advance. They do. They see how it goes. Just see how it goes. And in the moment of how life's going, you've got so many support services of Ubers and credit cards that you can use and drinks and other people. There's just so much at the tip of our fingers now. And it's causing a lot of problems for people. Strategy number 3.
Tom.
Someone jumping in?
Just a quick one. So that presumably would include how many drinks you would like to have for the evening or for the event?
Yes, if you're having a conversation about not how to crush an event sober, but if you're having a conversation about how do you consume the amount of alcohol that you'd like and stick to it, this would still apply. But I would have strategies for that are different to this, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great question. But for anyone listening, I do teach people how to have 2 drinks and stop. It's a different strategy, different approach, but these still apply for sure. So great question. Yeah, remember this line. Always remember it. Whether you are drinking, whether you are not drinking, whether you're trying to have a couple of drinks and stopping, the only thing you don't do is stop living in awareness. The only thing you don't do is stop taking responsibility. So, great question. because people often stop taking responsibility the minute they give in to the first drink, or once the chase gets them, which means they've had two and they start chasing the third and fourth. There's generally every single person that I work with that has a dysfunctional relationship with alcohol, I can pinpoint the time when they stop taking responsibility, and that's where their relationship needs to be changed. It's not about alcohol. It's not about how much do I have. It's when did you stop taking responsibility? And everyone has that. Some of us, it's like, I had one sip and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. I'm going to have a few tonight. I've already said yes. For other people, it's like 7 drinks. They're 7 drinks in, they're feeling great, and they're just about to go home, and their brain goes, what about that beer over there the waiter's holding? And they're about to walk out, and their brain goes, taxi, got an event to get to, kids need to get to bed, got these responsibilities, work, I might not make it tomorrow. Fuck it. And they turn and they go into the drink. Could be after the first, could be after the 10th. Cool to know, hey team, isn't that interesting? It's when do we stop taking responsibility? That's why these strategies are so beneficial. Great question. Strategy number 3, really, really important. This is a fun one as well. Certainty. Okay. What will you be drinking? Associate emotion to beverage. I'll tell you what I mean here. In any social situation that has 2 or more people in it, whoever has more certainty comes out as the authority. Okay. And this means emotional certainty. So whoever has more certainty is the authority. Now, one of the things that's really upsetting is people have so much certainty around alcohol beverages that they're going to drink and have a little certainty about what they're going to drink if not. All right. And it sounds like this. I'm going to use Gina as an example. I'm Gina's good friend. We're going to this event. I don't know Gina's trying to change her relationship with alcohol. Even if I did, probably I'd still act like this because this is what a lot of Australians do. Hey, Gina, can I get you a drink? And Gina, if Gina responds like this, no, I'll have, yeah, I'll probably just get a water. No, maybe a Coke. Yeah. By this time, that person that she's speaking to, this is how human beings work, will jump in and say, I know what you drink. I'll get it for you. That's what will happen. Right? Because here's why. Here's a bit of psychology. Human beings are problem-solving machines. Okay? We are problem-solving machines. What that means is human beings do not like uncertainty. Uncertainty is any moment that has more uncertainty than certainty in it. Sounds like this. Don't know. Wait. Think I'm doing a detox challenge. Not sure. Wasn't going to drink. Right? All of these comments are very uncertain based experiences. So whether the person loves you, whether the person an hour ago said, yeah, I'll help you stay sober tonight, they'll jump in and do anything they need to provide you certainty in the moment. That's why we live in a very saving based culture. We don't generally let people flourish through their own insecurity. Team, jump into the chat panel. It's gone a little bit quiet. Is this landing? Is this resonating? Is this beneficial? Is it right up your alley? Am I hitting the mark here for you? Make sure you looked after. Fantastic. Wonderful. So, number 1, in advance, what drink are you consuming? And number 2, if you don't learn, it is a learnt skill set, learn to associate as much pleasure to that beverage as you would pleasure unconsciously to alcohol, it's going to be difficult for you. And yes, you can apply this to any area of life where you're looking to achieve something in a group of people that don't know what you're talking about or don't know if you have your back. Could be you talking about building a business and you think your family members or someone's going to say that it's not the right idea. It could be getting into a relationship, whatever it might be. Fantastic. So number 1, what drink are you going to consume? I always have 2 options readily available in case they don't have one. Here's how it goes so often at the time. Someone's following the strategy. Yeah. Oh, I'd love a Carlton Zero. They feel great. The person's like, the waiter's like, yeah, sure, I'll get that for you. They're feeling great. The waiter comes back. I'm so sorry, there's no more Carlton Zero. Person just immediately starts thinking, then realizes people out of insecurity are looking at them, and then realizes, just get a normal Carlton, thanks. Yep. It's how we operate. It's how human beings operate. So have two or 3 drinks that you do enjoy, and drinks that you do enjoy. Could be a mocktail, could be a pub squash. For me, it is sparkling mineral water. I'll give you an example. Last night, I went out to a pizzeria with a very good friend of mine I haven't seen in months. Okay. I love feeling fresh. This individual traditionally loves having a few beers. We sat down. Here's how it works. I literally did this last night, and this is kind of unconscious for me now because you create conscious competence over time once you've practiced it. But we went out to the pizzeria, we sat down. And the waiter asked, what would we like? And here's how I responded. Oh, is there any chance you have like a really large bottle of sparkling mineral water? And they went, yeah, we definitely do. Immediately, there was a pause. And then he said, oh, that sounds good. Had the same thing as me all night. Okay, perfect example. Perfect example of whoever has more certainty dictates the influence in the group and in the tribe. So people are never consciously trying to make your journey hard for you. Your inability to provide a level of certainty invites every single person around you, literally invites them to go, can you help me change my mind? That's what uncertainty does. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? So what beverage are you going to have? And start associating emotion to the beverage. Now, here's a little bonus hack for you. Everybody will be willing to make you change your mind about your non-alcoholic beverage. No one will be willing to make you change your mind if they know that it's going to change your emotion. I'll give you an example. If I say, can I have a Carlton Zero? Somebody would be influenced potentially, like, oh, why don't you have a beer with me? But if I attach an emotion to it, which would, oh man, I would love a Carlton Zero. For them to influence me out of that, they've got to say, I want to take away your beer and I want to take your emotional feeling of love. Make sense? And that's the importance of attaching emotion to your drink order. You got to, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, team? This is deep psychology, by the way. And one of the things I've mastered over the last 9 years is communication skills, and how to be very influential in different settings, even when you feel uncomfortable. Great. Yeah. Like, for example, you might say to someone, hey, I've got a new business idea. And they'll just immediately jump in and be like, another one of these ideas. Or you could say to someone, oh, I'm so happy and proud I came up with this business idea, and just watch them shut their lips. Because no one wants to hijack you feeling good. No one wants to do that. But everyone will hijack you if you're ordering non-alcoholic drinks and you don't look like you're feeling good. Why? Because we live in a culture where we want everyone to feel good. So if Gina's sitting there going, oh, I think I'll have one of those, I don't know, one of those warm looking waters over there with that pink lipstick left on it from that lady last night. Yeah, I'll have one of those. Everyone's going to jump in and be like, Gina, what? We'll get the nicest bottle of champagne for Gina. That's what'll happen. But if you jump in there and you go, you know what, I'd absolutely love a Diet Coke and lots of ice, please. Just watch people shut the F up. In fact, watch people later come over to Gina and other people and go, hey, I'm just grabbing some drinks. Did you want another one of those Diet Cokes? That's how certainty works. Ian's sharing a question. Is it also based on your level of certainty? Yes, this is all about certainty. That's the step, certainty, all about certainty. But if you don't know how to bring certainty, what I specialize in giving you strategies. So you don't need to be certain. Just know, okay, if I just add an emotion, and just by adding an emotion, which is a strategy, you'll feel certain. That's the power of strategies. They provide you a lot of certainty. Yeah, fantastic, Hillary. Great to see. Gina sharing, I'm going to walk in so certain. That's it. And what Gina will start doing now is her brain's going to start looking for all the reference point, how she's actually a very certain person. And that is starting to look after strategy number one, which is meaning. So Gina's whole psychology and emotional experience now is shifting. And what Gina will be aware of, and what most people joke with me after this session, they often go, what was I so, this is what they do. They go, they start laughing. They go, what was I so worried about? I was going into here as if I was going into, I was speaking to somebody that joined the rebuild program a couple of weeks ago. And he literally said something along the lines of like, I was going into this event as thinking it was as serious as when we're giving birth to my first child. You know, it was like that much. And so there's often this relieving, like what was going on? And that really looks after number one, which is, wow, I was so sucked into the BS of it all. All right, team. Little press for time. Can we keep moving? Loving it? Liking it? Yeah, that's it. Gina, you are a boss in certainty. It's one of your biggest natural assets. So I'm glad this is resonating with you. Strategies help you realign to who you actually always were. That's the beautiful thing. All right, this is my favorite one. I still use this every Christmas, every New Year's Eve, every big social event where I'm with family members. Strategy number 4 is me time. 3-minute me time sessions every 45 to 60 minutes. Here's why. You can go into an event with so much certainty and intention. It's generally around 30 minutes, especially if you're socializing with people that find certainty in alcohol, which means they find certainty in alcohol where you find certainty within yourself. It generally takes about 30 minutes for your intentions, your goals, and your attributions to be muddied so much by the social group that they go out the window. So I like to pencil in about 45 minutes to 60 minutes for me. If you're new to this, do it every 30 minutes. What this means is, in this culture, when we socialize, there's an unconscious agreement that when you join us, we're in this together. No one goes out alone. this is what happens. There's 60 people in an event. The first person that says, I'm out of here, what does the 59 people say? Well, now, so what that means is we live in a social tribe where you can come to us as an individual, but when you're with us, no more individuality. If we're all drinking, we're all drinking. If we're all staying till midnight, we're all staying till midnight. And we don't know this. They're called unconscious contracts. They're like literal contracts that unconsciously are going on in groups. And it's why we all feel, the number one word at the start of this class, what was it? Was pressure. Pressure is the feeling we feel when we're being subconsciously asked to be someone that we're not. That's pressure. You're welcome. Banger of a line, wasn't that? Pressure is the feeling we feel when we're asked to subconsciously be someone that we're not. There we go. That's right, Gina. So what I like to do is was it Australia Day last year? Was it this year, Australia Day? It was the most recent Australia. And we, as a family group, my big, large family, we go to Doyle's. We've been going there for, my parents have been going there for 40, 50 years. I've been going there for the years that I've been alive. And one of the things that I love doing is I'll go and sit down and consciously every 45 minutes to 60 minutes, I'll just get up and just go for a 3-minute walk. And it's a beautiful view too. I'll just get up and go for a walk. Someone's like, where are you going? And I'll just say, I'm just getting some fresh air. And what I love doing is I know that as long as I have me time in moments throughout the event, I always am reminding myself to be me. As opposed to what a lot of people do is I don't remind myself to be me and I'm just going to be everyone else. And that's what leads to regret and shame and pain. So me time is an incredible strategy. If I'm at an event like a wedding or somewhere, it's not really like there's nowhere I can really get for a walk. I'll just go to the bathroom. I'll go to the restroom and I'll just wash my hands for like 2 minutes. Like someone will come in and someone will go, I'll just wash my hands for 2 minutes, freshen up, look in the mirror for a couple of minutes. I'm a big fan of me time. And you probably notice this is a common theme, especially those of you that do it on our 30-day detox, right? How many of us don't have me time? We don't have enough me time. And then we go to a social event, we've got no me time, which is a big ask for the human being, by the way. To go to an event that's anywhere from 3 to 6 to sometimes even 7 hours, it is a massive emotional sacrifice. Because here's a great line for you. In order to socialize, you must sacrifice some of your authenticity. In order to socialize, you must sacrifice some of your authenticity. In order to socialize with a group of people, it's a social thing, it's psychologically proving, you must sacrifice and push aside some of your true thoughts, some of your true feelings. That's how social groups are formed. There's a separation of who I completely am and emerging into how we all connecting today. How do we speak to each other? Thanks, Jeremy. This one will change your life. And yes, you can start implementing this in your day-to-day life. Team, there's a pool outside where I work. I probably go for 5 to 6 walks around that pool every day. If I have a session with a client, it runs over. I've got another client. I'll message the second client and say, hey, I'm running 10 minutes over, even though I'm only 5 minutes over. I apologize. I'll go for a walk around the pool, notice a couple of butterflies come back in. Me time is one of the biggest strategies that will lead you to so much success. Jump into the chat panel and let me know if you love that. We're going to go 5 to 7 minutes over time. I hope that's okay. Yep, fantastic. Literally start doing this, team. And yes, someone might ask you a question. My old man used to say to me all the time, where are you going? You know what I mean? It's not natural. People don't know how to live with me time. People don't know how to experience a great event and also have me time. It's weird. It's bizarre. You want to make a phone call? Go make a phone call. You want to go look at the view? Go look at the view. The event is yours. The event isn't I'm locked into this thing and we've all got to stay inside these closed doors and rooms. Yeah, thanks, Gina. And thanks for asking the question. All right. This is a mental strategy and step and tip. Number 5, it's called freedom. And the quote that you all want to start living by to massively reduce anxiety and stress in your lives is, I don't have to be anywhere with anyone at any time. I don't have to be anywhere with anyone at any time. Okay. There is a huge assumption that if we say we're going to an event, we're going to the event. And if we went to the event, we stay till the end. And if we had 1 drink, then we will have 7. Everyone noticing these unconscious contracts and assumptions we have in life? You always got to remind yourself, and someone will generally jump in and say, oh, but you know, Tom, like if you say you're going to something, it's nice. Yeah, I get that. But it's never nice enough to make you break the promises to yourself and feel guilt, shame, and blame. Never. It's a social thing, unfortunate social thing that we grow up in. So you never have to be anywhere with anyone at any time. And this breaks what's called time and space and gives you complete freedom to remind yourself, you know what? Yeah, I said I was coming. I'm uncomfortable. I hate the event. I'm not liking it. Yes, I'm becoming aware that I could like it if I drank, but I'm not liking it. I don't want to drink. I'm out of here. I've only been here for 30 minutes. Who cares? That's great. That's called freedom. That's called individuality. So the tip here is know what time you'll leave, but always plan earlier. This is a big tip. Always. Never plan, oh, I want to stay till midnight or the end of the event, but I'll see how I go. Always plan to leave unsocially early by an hour or two. And here's the biggest thing. You'll have so much certainty and you'll either leave then or you'll actually love the event and you'll stay later, which is great. You do it the other way, you'll say you're going to stay late, you start feeling pressure, then you've got the assumption that you should stay to that time. Yeah, that's right, Jen. It's such common experiences. Isn't that funny? Wow. It speaks volumes towards the people that we hang out with. I've heard it before. Oh, what are you leaving for? Really, I just got some stuff to get up to. I'll tell you something in a minute, but where the strategy comes into play, and people will be like, "Oh, but I paid all this alcohol for you." It's not my problem. It's not. That's your problem. We have these unconscious contracts where just people are the masters of us. It's an unfortunate social thing that we experience, especially in Australia and a lot of first world countries. Who's loving the freedom in this? Who's starting to feel good about their upcoming social event? Jenna, how are you feeling jumping to the chat panel? Everything changed? Yeah, that's right. The power of a 30-minute session and a 30-minute group session. And now, Gina, guess what? You can not only crush your event, but you can enjoy it. Doesn't need to be this game that most people play, which is either I go, I sacrifice what I want, I drink, I kind of have fun in the moment, I feel shit the next day, or I just don't go to anything and I just cancel all my social plans. No. You and I have to figure out who we want to be and how we want to socialize. All right, number 6. This is my favorite. Gina, I'd love you to take action on this. This is called Living. And it looks after the top 5 strategies, which is I call the after event. At the end of the day, if you don't have a life that you want to get back to and are excited to get back to, you will drink. Because we all know, especially for those of you watching this live that have been in our 30-day detox challenge, you know at the end of the day, with all the psychology and emotional mastery and the biological conditioning, at the end of the day, if you don't have something to look forward to, well, then you'll want to tap in a rebellion phase, which is like, fuck it. I'm going to enjoy this moment because tomorrow's moment's not going to be that great. So I might as well enjoy this one. Is one of the leading reasons why people drink too much. So what is your after event? Love it. Perfect. So Jemmy's sharing, great. Tonight I'm going to say it's school night. I need to be home in bed, home by 8. Fantastic. I've used that so many times. So what are some examples? What are some after events that you can book in? Yeah, you're welcome, Gina. Here's one of my favorite ones. And no one knows this, by the way. Like, I often don't tell people this, but I'll go and get ice cream after the event. And I'm actually more excited to go get this ice cream and sit and watch the water. Generally, I'm near the water because I live on the coast or whatever it is, and just sit and enjoy ice cream and just sit in the enjoyment of like, man, it's only 9 p.m. Had a great time at the event. Everyone's starting to get shit-faced. I'm so glad I'm out of it. How good is this freaking ice cream? Oh my God. I got time to watch a movie when I get home. Shit. I'm going to be feeling fresh tomorrow. And this is where everything starts to solidify and you create what's called long-term behavior change. And yes, there is a lot that goes into these 6 strategies. I've been refining them and tuning them. I've been 10 years nearly in the industry of learning human behavior. Now here's another tip for you, team, is that having an event after or the next day, does anyone know how else that helps you during the event itself? Going up to someone, hey, can I get Carlton Zero? They're like, are you not drinking tonight? Bam. Nah, not tonight. I've got somewhere else to be after this. Nah, not tonight. I've got a sunrise jog tomorrow with a friend. Nah, not tonight. Hey, I've got this beautiful breakfast we're going to. Just watch people's faces just go. Because everybody's influenced by someone who lives an incredible quality of life. Everybody, no matter what they say, they just sit there and go, there we go. There we go. So Kara might relanguage that as, nah, I've actually got a midnight jog tonight with my dog, something fun that I'm trying at the moment. Gina, book a beautiful breakfast for Sunday, please. If there's ever a time you deserve to make your life incredible, it's the day after you go to an event that once you were fearing and crushed it. Book an incredible breakfast. Ask someone to come to brekkie. Pay for them. Pay for the table next to you. Do audacious, great things. And notice how you'll just notice, like, this event, what was I stressing about? I've got a life to live. And that's the beauty. That is the beauty. The gift, the ultimate gift out of all of this is you get to keep living life. You were so close to sacrificing life. Everybody, we're so close to sacrificing the beautiful life we have for a night on the Terps. And last thing, if anybody's at nighttime events, 10 o'clock is generally the latest you should be leaving. Because I'll tell you this right now, in this culture, if there was no alcohol, the event would finish at 9 or 10. So I believe, personally, as an insight for you, that social events go from about 5 p.m. or whatever it is till about 9 to 10 p.m., 10 p.m. max. After that, it's not a social event, it's a drinking binge. That's the thing that's wrong with our culture. So just think about that. If I'm at this event, if there was no alcohol, what time do I think it would wrap up? And if you think it'll wrap up at midnight, stay till midnight. But if you're like, shit, this will probably finish at 8, great, that's the time to leave. That's always the time I leave. About the 9:30 to 10 p.m. window, when I see everyone goes from socializing to everyone's going into intoxication, Tommy Garrett's out of there. Why would I want to be there? And we're all thinking we've got issues around anxiety. No, we don't. We just don't want to be in an environment that doesn't have much authenticity into it. Jump into the chat panel, loving it, liking it. We've gone 6 minutes overtime. For those of you that do have another 3 minutes, I've got a couple of bonus key insights for you. Do you want them, or have you got to run? I'm just going to clear my throat. Fantastic. And you're welcome. And I'll send the recording out to those of you, and those of you in the Rebuild and Evolve programs. I'm going to put this into a nice new category all about socializing sober. So you'll get access to that, Gina. Yeah, you're welcome. Jakey boy, good to see you here, legend. All right, bonus key lessons and learnings team. Number 1, implementing a game plan creates success. Implementing a game plan creates success. Don't approach your alcohol reduction journey any differently than you'd approach starting a business. Doing your taxes with the tax man at the end of the day. Losing weight. Implementing a game plan creates success. Following your own rules is a sign of character. Okay, following your own rules and discipline is a sign of character. It's not a sign of insecurity and you need extra stuff. Number 3, knowing your limitations is also knowing your potential. One of the deepest places of self-trust anybody can come from is knowing when they can't be trusted. That's the beauty in this. That knowing your limitations is actually tapping into your potential, because you know your limitations. Now you can access your potential. Because you know your limitation is, yeah, look, after like 10:30, 11, and everyone's kind of intoxicated and they're on the dance floor, yeah, that's like, I got to get out of there before then. Like I say this joke, some people won't appreciate it, think it's too serious, but I say this joke, kind of got a bit of truth to it, right? It's like, I know my limitations. If you put me in Vegas for 14 days and give me $100,000 and say you can do whatever you want, no regrets, Tom's probably going to make some mistakes that week. Hey, Tommy Boy's going to make some mistakes after 10 years knowing what he knows. Over-exaggerated example. Does that help? Does that make sense? Knowing your limitations provides you potential. People that live in the world of like, no, I don't want limitations. It's a lack of potential. And structure and strategy trumps winging it any day of the week, as you're aware of. And number 5, which I think you all loved, which is never assume you need to be anywhere with anyone at any time. These top 6 strategies will absolutely change your life. You apply these to, and you should do it like runs on the board, by the way. You should load up the bank, so to speak. You should plan before the end of this year, 6 to 8 events, social events that you go to, and apply this. And you'll call me next year and say, Tom, I don't know what it is, but I can go to any social event now and not drink. That's what will happen if you want to apply these. Yeah, for those of you that know me, Gina, that's not the greatest example, Tom. For those of you that know me, I used to have a gambling addiction. I used to gamble a lot, right? Knowing your limitations provides you with your potential. Put me in the worst situation. See, people enter the personal development industry and they go, I can do anything. No, that's going to set you up shit creek. You can do anything in the realm of your natural strengths and abilities. So you'll always have a bit of a crux. You'll always have a moment where someone or you and your own psychology can influence you into having a beverage. You got to accept that. That's fine. Not from a place of victimization like the clinical approach does. That you got the addiction, you just never drink it. From a place of power of like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Why would I even put myself in those states? It's like imagine if you were trying to not drink and every night you went out clubbing till like 3 a.m. Like you were just what a weird thing to do. Like, yeah, I really want to do that. Jake said, yeah, very tempting example. Oh shit. What have I started? Jake's gonna sell his house and move over to Vegas for a couple of weeks. Love it, team. Here's to crushing your next event, feeling fresh AF. We'd love any feedback if you like the class, if you love the class. Hope it was worth it for you. I love putting it together.